Hey guys, this is Jannecke. Today I want to speak about spiritual awakening and how to have spiritual experiences because I want to address a couple of emails that I received. And I think it's so wonderful that you're so engaged in my blogs and that you write me emails, long emails. And I really see that, you guys are really advanced and you want answers, just like I want answers. So I'm going to try to give my perspectives on these emails and how I see things. So there was this guy that wrote from Sweden and he felt a bit confused about different spiritual thoughts and perspectives and schools. And he noticed that I had said that I had felt a shift in myself now the latest weeks and months. And he was asking, how did you get that spiritual awakening or that shift? And he was watching many of my videos and he felt that he got a little bit confused because there was so much information. That's how I understood the email. So I'm going to address that first, and then I'll take the other email, which was about the light and the dark. I have never had a spiritual awakening. I just want to say that. I don't even know what a spiritual awakening is. And that is because I think that there can be 7 billion different kinds of spiritual awakenings on this earth. I think that not one spiritual awakening is similar to the other. I think we all experience life and things in different ways. So I think there are 7 billion perspectives on this earth. And if everybody was having a spiritual awakening, they would be different as well. But what I have heard that people have said is that they can have a shift of perception of how they see everything, how they see that they're part of a bigger picture. They can have a notion that they are more than this body. They can, for instance, feel that everything is love, everything is alive, that they can see that, this table is alive, that is pure energy. They can perhaps see that the table is connected to the door through energy. They can see that everything is love. They can see perhaps that we're all connected to each other. Someone has experienced just being part of the whole universe, that they didn't have kind of an identity, that they just knew they were everything. Some people speak about the Kundalini spiritual awakening, and that's portrayed like this, snake. It has a symbol of a snake that lies dormant in your, from what I've understood, in your spine, and then when you get that awakening, you get that opening here, I think, here. So I think you can get the spiritual awakening through doing Kundalini yoga, for instance. But I must say that I don't know much about spiritual awakenings because, as I said, I haven't had one. I did pursue it in my 20s. That was like my goal. I wanted that awakening, even though I didn't know what it was. And I really pursued it, and I had some spiritual experiences. But I guess now after I've had these spiritual experiences, I've felt that, I don't need to have that awakening anymore because I guess what now my goal is I don't like using that word, but what I want to focus on is being happy and being authentic in my life, following my inner voice. That's where I am at, and being inspired all the time. And that's why I'm doing these videos, because I want to inspire you and I want to inspire myself. Because when I am searching for knowledge, I am inspired. And what does that mean? Well, that means being in spirit. And I want to be in my spirit all the time because that's where I feel like I'm home. When I look for topics that I love to speak about, that I love to explore, when I look at the stars, the universe, then I'm inspired, and I want to be there all the time, because then I know I'm aligned with my soul, and that's where I want to be. That's what I'm pursuing. Okay, but back to how you perhaps can have some spiritual experiences and perhaps get a spiritual awakening, uh, even though I don't know how that would look like for you. So, what I would suggest that you could do is, for instance, the first thing would be start meditating. Because when you start meditating, you calm down your mind. Because I think that the mind chatter is the one thing that will take us away from our spirit and our soul, actually. So that's actually a thing you can start with. Meditate every day, for instance. Maybe try 10 minutes each day and then stretch it to maybe 15 minutes, then maybe 20 minutes for a while, and then perhaps longer and longer. Maybe, in a year you can meditate half an hour or an hour every day. That will make a difference, because, there are even scientists speaking about this now, and brain researchers who are saying that things will change in your brain. And what happens is that, your brain waves there will be another brainwave frequency. So you calm down the whole system. And then you come into the state where you open up for other information that can come through. Because imagine that, we have the mind chattering all the time. Then nothing can come through, Like if we are separated from the spiritual world because there is a veil there. If I'm thinking all the time, multitasking, doing all these things, I won't have that open channel to be able to open up for information from the other side. So that's kind of a very specific thing that you can start doing. And I'm very sure that you will see results. Things will change. I notice that when I meditate, and people have told me that things change. All of a sudden, you can have a spiritual experience. And I want to say with spiritual experiences that what I was taught in India, and I think that's true, you can either have it by really practicing different practices, or you can have it by grace, that it just happens to you. And no one knows why, some just get an experience, but that might happen. But most of us would have to practice and practice and practice in order to get some experiences. So the second thing you can do is try to be aware in your everyday life. Try to stay conscious and aware. So that means staying conscious of your own thoughts. What are you thinking? Try to observe your thoughts and try to stay neutral. Don't judge them. Like, what? What am I thinking? Or I am such a bad person thinking this thought. Do not judge them. Just observe them neutrally. And try to stay aware in the sense that you're in your body. Like, feel that you have consciousness in your hands, like me sitting here now. You can do it at the same time as I do. Feel your toes, feel your thighs, feel your belly. Be conscious that you're inside your whole body. Be present in your whole body. And notice things that happens in your body. So this awareness is not just what you're thinking about. It's about what is happening in your body. Are you tense somewhere? Do you feel your heart beating, or do you feel that your chest is tight, or do you feel that your what is it called? That you have tension somewhere? Notice that. Just notice. You don't have to do anything about it. Just notice it. And then at the same time, be aware of your feelings. I know it might sound overwhelming, but it's all about knowing thyself. So be aware of what you're feeling, and again, not judging it. Like, hey, I feel sad all of a sudden. Just notice it. What does it do to your body? What does the sadness do to your body? Do you feel it in your body somewhere? Does it move? Just pay attention to it. And the more you do that, the more you will get to know yourself. It's like the big teacher, I think it was Socrates, I don't know how you say that. He said, know thyself. I think the spiritual path is about knowing thyself, actually, and knowing thyself. That I should know Jannecke and you should know you, because you have all the answers inside of you. I'm sure about that. You have your inner genius inside of you. So being aware, being conscious every day, that will not only, I think, just what is it called? Make it more likely that you will have spiritual experiences, but you will also get clearer dreams. And you can get a lot of information from your dreams. So the more conscious you are during the day, the more conscious you will be in your dreams, where you definitely have access to the spiritual world. And that's the third thing I want to say, that you can use dreams to get answers. And if you really want to take this a step further, I suggest that you can check out my astral travel and out-of-body experience series. I did 4 videos on that, 3 videos myself, where I explain how you can have an out-of-body experience, how you can be lucid during your dream, which means to be conscious in a dream, and how you can astral project. And I've tried that, and I've done that, and that was what made me sure that there exists another dimension, that I know that I exist outside my body. That is certain for me now. Like, I have my own experience. And to be honest, like, after I had that, I guess I didn't need to pursue that spiritual awakening anymore, because I was kind of satisfied with that. And I also experienced that astral realm was so overwhelming that I felt that, I'm not going to go there this time. Because I don't know how much good it does to explore that world, because that can take my attention away from being Jannecke in the physical world. Because after all, I'm here in this physical body on this planet to do a work, right? To do something, and I think I need to have attention here. But I suggest, if you want, to have an out-of-body experience, that perspective, I suggest that you check out my videos, because I really go into detail there. It's like this free course, 3 videos with really details about how to have an out-of-body experience and how to have lucid dreams and how to astral project. Yes. And then the 4th thing you can do is to pay attention to synchronicities. Like, some will call them coincidences, but I don't call them that, because I call them synchronicities, because I believe that the universe just makes things happen at the perfect time. Like, you heard that song that you were thinking about or wondering about, what was that song? And then you hear that song on the radio, or you ask the universe a question and all of a sudden a friend just starts talking about it, or you meet the person you need to talk to. Like, all those synchronicities, they also start happening the more you pay attention to it. And the more you open up for the spiritual path, the more synchronicities will happen. At least that is my experience. And what they taught me in India when I was there in 2011 at an ashram, they told me that synchronicities will become miracles. And don't we want that? We want miracles, right? So, and that's really a magical process, because you're like, oh my goodness, I see this number all the time, or wow, he's just talking about what I was wondering about, and it's really a magical process. So pay attention to it, because it will grow, it will become more and more. Then the 5th thing I would say is to be grateful and say thank you a lot. Like, No matter if it's actually good or bad things, just say thank you to things that happen to you. Because I believe that the universe is bringing us gifts all the time, that the universe is intelligent, and that we are co creating with it from our higher selves and from guides, and we have help, of course. But I'm more these days concerned and passionate about the higher selves, because I think that we have all the power inside of of ourselves. My English is a little rusty today. Yeah, I think it's actually more important to focus on yourself and your inner power and your inner vision and your inner voice, instead of constantly going outside. Ask yourself, because I think that you have your higher self that has the best answers for you. So I would say just be grateful for the things that happens to you, and trust that it's good. Like, even though it might seem like something that you really don't appreciate right now, I think in the long run, you would have learned something from it that was really valuable to you. Like, I wouldn't necessarily say thank you for my depression in my 20s, or that I lost my voice, in my 20s. I got this huge role, this main role in a play, and I got lost my voice. I was there at the top of my career and I lost everything. But now I see that I wouldn't have been here today if I didn't lose my voice, if I didn't become depressed. So maybe if you're not able to say thank you to it, try to at least see, is there anything I can learn from this? And try to trust that this comes to you for a reason, for your growth, for your soul to grow or develop, or your soul to give you something that will benefit you in the long run. Like, believe in the goodness of life that is there for a purpose. Because life is all about growth. Life wants to, life is development, is what we call in Norwegian vekst, growth. Like, a tree grows, a rose grows, everything is in development all the time, nothing is stagnant. So are we. We are constantly developing, we're constantly expanding. We're not expanding, because that's not the impulse of life. So trust that you are constantly developing. You're not standing still, never. You're always in a process. Just trust that. So that took me a little bit away from step 5, which was to be grateful. Because I think the more you are grateful, the more you say to the universe, I trust you. And you say to yourself and your higher self, I trust you. And then I think you will get easier, a flow, because you won't resist. I think when you resist, I think it put brakes on your development, and I think it will go slower. The more you accept the moment, whatever comes to you, the more you will easier get through it. I think when you meet a challenge, if you resist it, it will take much longer time to get through it and to have that breakthrough, to get over to the other side. But if you accept it, okay, this is a huge challenge for me. I didn't expect to get sick right now, but it's here. I can't do anything about it. I have to surrender. Then I think by surrendering, accepting, it will move through you much more easily. So that was my 5 tips to how to have a spiritual experience or awakening. And I see I've been talking for a long time this time. So I think I'm going to address the other email some other time, actually, because that's a huge topic as well. I hope this was helpful, and please comment and come with your perceptions. And remember that these are only my thoughts today, and they might change tomorrow, because I constantly change. I'm in development, I'm in process, and so are you. Much light. Bye-bye.